Today I'm going to show you how to create perfect elements for your reggaeton beat. So I'm going to show you how to create top-notch drums, add a lot of melody layers, combining the vibe which is inspired by Bad Bunny, Jhayco and Feid. So guys, make sure to watch the whole video. I'm also giving away the MERA Reggaeton sample pack for free. So after 7 days, the comment with the most likes will get a free sample pack. So make sure to comment down below, and I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. So for this beat, first I'm starting off with a chord progression. This melody is created in G sharp minor, and we're starting off at 93 beats per minute. So first we're going to start off with a simple minor chord progression, and I'm using the DX7 for the keys, G, B and D. But then we're going to transpose this note 1 octave up. Then we want to fill up the chord progression even more, so we're just going to reuse this G and we'll use it 1 octave up. For now, just duplicate this chord progression. Then the next available note is E. This B fits the scale, E fits the scale again, and then this G is not within the highlighted notes, so we're going to move it up 1 note. Copy the first chord progression again. And now let's pick C. So G fits the scale, C and E also fits the scale. Then we could use the second chord progression again. So we're going to create something which goes upwards, and then again 1 note up. And this chord also fits the scale. And then to spice up the sound even more, I've added some effects. So first I'm starting off with this distortion tube culture compressor. Then I'm adding some retro color, just a Vinyl 1 preset, a simple delay. Then I'm removing the low and high frequencies. Then I'm adding this Shaper Box 3, just a random panning preset. Then I'm adding some chorus dimension D, just to make it sound a little bit softer and widen up the sound. Adding some side chaining. Again, I'm removing annoying frequencies. Then I'm adding a random reverb preset. Which sounds ambient, wide and spacious. A must-have element when you're creating a reggaeton beat like this. Then we're adding this flute. For the flute, I'm also using the DX7, using the VHS flute preset, playing this one together with the chords. Which again I think is an amazing element. Just tweaking the flute a little bit and then add a lot of reverb. Then we're adding some texture to the melodies. Some crackling noise in the background. Then I've used the DX7 again, use the piccolo preset, layering this one with the keys. And this one is just following the exact same notes as the keys. And then we're adding this amazing vocal sample. So without the effects, it sounds like this, horrible. Adding all the effects, especially this guitar rig preset, which is the tone tremolo, makes it sound amazing. I love this element. It's amazing and unique. So guys, I just want to let you guys know I'm giving away 20 free samples from the MERA Reggaeton sample pack. 20 amazing royalty-free samples. The link will be in the description, so definitely go and check it out. Step 2, the drums. So in reggaeton, the drums are generally very simple. Simply create a 1x1 kick rhythm. You're adding a snare on top. So for this beat, I switch it up using another hi-hat. So I just use a hat from the Blackout drum kit. And this one sounds like this. A unique 4-bar MIDI. And this is just another way how to make your reggaeton beat sound more interesting. Play around the velocity, so not all the hats play on the same volume. And then I've pushed this element to the background in the mix. So by using just the kick and the snare, it's maybe too simple. So by using another percussive sound or a head, you could just add another layer to your drum loop. And in the end, this will result in a way better beat. Step 3, the bass line. When it comes to reggaeton, the bass line is insanely important. It makes it or breaks it when it comes to the groove. So for the intro, I'm just using a simple saw bass, which I've created from scratch from Serum. So 2 simple saw waves. So pitch the first oscillator down 1 octave, and on the second one, you add some unison and some detune, and then use a filter cutoff to remove the high frequencies. And it's just following the root notes from the chord progression. An element which is often used when it comes to reggaeton beats. A simple element but just adds a lot of energy to the beat. And I've created the main bass from scratch. 2 simple sine waves, pitch the first one down 1 octave, on the second oscillator reduce the level so you're adding a little bit of mid frequencies. So this makes sure when the sub bass is playing, it's not just playing low frequencies, but it's just a little bit more present in the mix. Especially when you're listening to a track on your phone, for example, you could still hear the bass line playing. So that's why you use a second oscillator and add a little bit of mid frequencies to the bass. And then of course you use another cutoff filter to remove the high frequencies, remove any ticking sounds. And this melody is just following the root notes from the chord progression. Just sounds so simple and clean. And I've used the kickstart to sidechain the sub from the kick. How can you do this? I've already showed you this in one of my previous tutorials. You select the kick and then you select sidechain to this track only. Then you add a kickstart to the sub on the mixer. Then you open up settings, processing, right mouse button, and then select kick 9. So if you did something wrong, this will not pop up. So you select this one, kick 9, and then I've added a band frequency. So the frequency will duck below this frequency only, but in this case that doesn't matter. And then you select audio. So right now I'm going to show you what it does. So you can see every time when the kick is playing, you will sidechain the bass. And this will make your mix in the end sound way much better. Or I would say like this is something you just have to apply to your reggaeton beat. Step 4, arranging the beat. So this beat definitely feels slower because in the intro, the arrangement switches up every 4 or 8 bars. So right here, we have the piccolo coming in, for example. So after every 4 bars, I try to add a new element. So for example, here I've added a new element. So some more keys after a simple drum switch up. I've also played around with some automation, so I've automated the sub bass. And this is an amazing trick which is used very often and it's still so simple. So this is the part where it's pitching down. You can do this by pressing on the top left corner and then select Make Unique. So you create a unique pattern within the playlist. And as you can see right here, the G is playing and then the chord progression is going to E. The easiest way to do this, just add one note 1 octave up. So from E3 to E4. So now it just sounds like this. Then you open up the plugin which you've used for your sub bass or the sampler. Then you search for the pitch bend button, which is this one right here in Serum. Then you set this one to -12. 1 octave is 12 semitones. So we're pitching down -12, we're going from E4 to E3. So on a keyboard, every octave, 12 keys. Just remember this. You select this one, then you press Tools, Last Tweaked, Create Automation Clip. Then an automation clip like this will insert into the playlist. Then you just copy value, and then you just add one note right here. And then you play around with the tension of this line. So for example, when the tension isn't right, it sounds like this. This way, it just sounds perfect. Easy to apply to your bass line, just to make it a little more interesting and just keep the beat going. So for example, I applied this trick 3 times in the arrangement. For example, I've automated the keys. So when the drums aren't playing, there is no sidechain on the keys. But when the main drums are playing, the keys are also sidechaining. Just makes it a little more interesting and in the end improves your mixing. And for this beat also the flute defines the arrangement. So when the flute is coming in, This is the break part, or also called the bridge. And this defines the structure and the arrangement of this beat. For example, the piccolo sound, which is simply following the chord progression. This one just adds some ambience to the beat without being a main element or being too present. So when you add an element like this, it's just so simple, but it just gives some more definition to the arrangement. And there's an easy way how to add new elements every 4 or 8 bars. So in the melody section of this tutorial, I didn't even show you this melody. So it's just a simple Solina preset and it's just playing in the background. Again, following the exact same chords. So again, a new element which just gives definition to your arrangement. So again, the golden rule, add a new element every 4 bars. Step 5, mixing. For this beat, I kept it very simple. Applied some simple panning to some of the elements. Used the stereo separation tool on the melodies just to widen up all the melodies. Then on the main bus, you want to make sure you remove all the low frequencies. You don't need them, you don't want them. So I removed all the low frequencies for the melodies from 84 Hz. Then again, some subtle saturation with around 10% of drive. And then something which is crucial when it comes to mixing your melodies. You want to make sure you glue them together. So I've used this plugin, which is called the glue. Then you want to apply a fast attack and a slow release. And this makes sure all the sounds play on the same level. And this all comes down to making your beat sound flat. You don't want it to sound too flat, you don't want to lose any dynamics. So I'm adding some parallel compression by adjusting the dry wet, so in this case 50%. And then I'm adding some makeup for the gain, which I'm losing by compressing it. And because I'm compressing it, I'm decreasing the volume, so I want to compensate this by adding some makeup. So this is the compressor. As you can see, it's just slightly compressing the signal. So when a loud element is coming in, it makes sure it doesn't sound too loud. So if you think the levels of your beat doesn't sound right, this could be a simple solution. And an amazing plugin when it comes to widening up your drums is this PS 2020 spread from Waves. And this one is widening up the snare. So we want the low frequencies from the snare to play on mono, and the high frequencies we want to widen them up a little bit. So without it sounds like this. Let's enable the plugin. So this will spread the signal, especially when you're listening to it on headphones. Just an easy but amazing trick how to make your drums sound alive. And I will also quickly show you the mastering bus. Simple saturation, 10%. Then I've used a low shelf and reduced some of the low frequencies because I think in this case the beat contains too much sub frequencies. Then again, I'm gluing all the elements together using this preset with a fast attack, and I'm just catching the peaks. And then my favorite mastering element, which is Ozone 10, use an imager, make sure all the frequencies below 90 Hz are on mono, so this prevents any stereo phasing issues. And then from 5K, I'm widening up the master, so by adjusting this one. So this just widens up the stereo. Then I'm adding a maximizer using the intelligent release control on modern, enabling true peak. And then I'm maximizing the signal until the kick hits 0. So you definitely don't want any clipping. And then I'm maximizing the beat until my kick hits the ceiling, which is minus 0.3 dB. And that's it. Simplicity is key. So that's it, guys. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to leave it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And right now, let's listen to the final result.